G'day Tiger fans and welcome to Talking Tigers, Richmond's official live weekly podcast. And what a great win it was across the Nullarbor at Domain Stadium on Sunday afternoon. No more footy afternoon. No more footy at Domain Stadium.
The eclipse.
There was an eclipse in America. Plenty to chat about from that game. We also look forward to another crucial game. It's a big one on Sunday afternoon against the Saints. Round 23. Can't wait for that one. Also today, Griggy's back with his locker room chat. What's grinding his gears and his lists. His lists are going really well. We might get in the paper again. I think he's got plenty for us, Griggy. As is Lou, he's back for the VFL report. A really big win over Sandy here at Punt Road on the weekend. The Chief, guys, he is about to achieve a lifelong dream. Stay tuned for that one.
Wow.
Greeners, you'll have your final round memories. I think you've done that 3 or 4 times on Talking Tigers. And JB, hopefully, in round 22, hopefully you can finally deliver something with your
wouldn't
club
bank
news
on it.
segment. Boys, how are we?
No, we're
Pretty good.
Very, very good after that performance on Sunday. Very, very pleased indeed.
It was a good win, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good win. Yeah, don't get too many 100-point wins,
No.
and it was just good that they actually put their foot down and just and so that was the equal most number of goals kicked in a game by an AFL team this year.
Was it?
Geelong kicked 25, scored a few more behinds earlier this year. Go on, sorry, you're desperate to say something.
Oh, just the payback. James Brown. That was the
Payback.
song.
For Freo beating us last time.
Yeah, that
Well,
one.
and also looking forward to St Kilda, who we need to make
So you
amends
can
for.
look forward or you can look back.
Yep,
So a bit of payback there from James Brown. Good song. Hashtag Talking Tigers. Hashtag Stump Greeners. But yeah, move on now, Tone.
Okay, so 25 goals, most goals kicked, equal most for the season, and the 25-5 that we kicked was the best return of goals from 30 shots in the history of AFL VFL football.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Geez, come to the
25-5.
table with a
There you
bit
go.
today.
A couple of things, of course, our biggest win against Freo and our highest score against Freo. There you
And
go.
also an individual, we'll get to.
Yep.
Sorry, the rundown.
No, the rundown.
We won't
the
talk
rundown.
about it off the top.
No, the one
of the
thing, the one thing I do want to talk to you about.
You're better than that, JP.
It's
I'm
normally
not so
me.
sure.
It's normally me that does that.
I just got
Yeah.
back from
No,
Freo. So.
now, can I ask you? Can I ask you, because you're a big fan of this bloke from the moment he pulled on the boots at senior level with the Tigers, is Nick Floston. Okay, I want to ask because he's in career best form since he come back from his injury early this year, and a few weeks ago. He has been in great form.
Oh, he's in career best form, as you said. And I think everyone really liked Nick when he first came onto the scene and thought, oh, he's a bona fide AFL player right from day one. And he's really gone on in leaps and bounds, particularly in the last 5 or 6 weeks. His form is outstanding at halfback. And we hear about, you know, Asprey's great year and Rance. We've been giving him accolades for a long time and Grimes. But, gee, Floston's just as important down there, I think.
What are his key attributes?
Well, his courage, first and foremost. I think if you're at half-back, you need that courage to go back and stand in front of the high ball. He's a good mark. He reads the play well. He's hard at it. He's good below his knees. And he's composed.
Yeah.
I think his composure and his ball use in the last month or so, I think, has been outstanding. And I think he's a real leader. He's got great leadership. So, yeah, I think he has been outstanding. To me, I reckon he's been the biggest positive for mine in the last little bit.
Yeah, and has he got the best red beard that you've ever seen?
Oh, outstanding. It's got redder, though.
It has got redder. He might be putting a bit of colour in it, you reckon?
It's curling out the sides now.
Well, that's good.
It's a good sign.
I like it.
We'll get to Lou a bit later, but also on Sunday, the VFL team had a very, very good win as well. Brendan Fisher, just off hashtag Talking Tigers, wants to talk about the selection headaches for round 23 and beyond, because there's a lot of people putting their hands up.
There is.
So
Well, there certainly are. And, I think Craig McRae needs to take a lot of credit for the way he's got that VFL team playing this season. They're going to play finals and hopefully maybe clinch a top 4 spot in the last round. But the development that he's been able to get through and the way he's had that team playing and coming through has been great for obviously the AFL team as well.
Oh, I think it's huge. I mean, you look at the Bulldogs last year, they won the VFL flag, so they always had pressure on for spots in that team. Clearly, if you're winning every week in the VFL, there's players putting their hand up weekly, and that's happened again this week. Well, Lou will go into detail, but there's so many guys down there putting their hand up, guys that come in. I think the biggest sign of development from below is when guys come in, they have an immediate impact, and we saw that on the weekend, didn't we?
Oh, we certainly
we
did. Yeah, yep. No, there's no doubt about that. And the fact that they won their last 6 games at VFL level last year was a really good, precursor to what's happened this year. Yeah,
I think he's great at that job, Fly. I think he's done an outstanding job in the last 2 years at VFL level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the guy who came in from the VFL,
very good.
Jack Graham.
Oh, jeez.
Didn't he? It's
my
a sample,
boy.
as Manfred says, it's a sample size of 1. But it was a very outstanding game, wasn't it?
Look, it was.
Was that from Manfred?
It was.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
No, there's no doubt.
I don't know. The way I look at it is, I reckon when you come in and you immediately look composed and you have that maturity, that normally tells me that you're going to be a long-term player. So we don't want to get carried away.
No.
I thought he just looked composed. I thought his ball use when he got it, that little kick
it was nice,
kicked into Towner at the end there. Good decision maker.
And the pressure.
And apparently, you were over there, JB. His ability to cover the ground was outstanding.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But I was fortunate enough to be able to watch it live, and I paid particular interest in Jack in the first quarter and just his way to get the ball off half back and then break forward. At pace as well. Yeah. It was very impressive.
Well, you done an excellent interview with him pre-game.
You had a few distractions in the background, but that's okay.
But you asked him what his attributes for the Richmond people that hadn't seen much of him play.
And he delivered on them.
And he did, absolutely. And he had the equal most number of tackles for a AFL debutant. 11. Equal most.
That was a good sign, wasn't it?
Yeah,
11
for sure.
tackles.
For sure. So, it was just... He made the transition really well, obviously, from VFL to AFL, so he's got a very, very bright future.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a player for a long time, Jack Graham, and I think we saw that in the VFL in recent weeks, and you might have nailed it last week with the yellow and black. We'll get onto that later. The other player that came into the team was Jacob Townsend. Before we have a chat about him, Dimmer talked about him after the game.
So he's had a really, really good year at VFL level. We probably just haven't had the spot available for him. His form and... our VFL side had an outstanding win again today. We've got some really good players down there. Towner was terrific today. Miles and Lloyd got some really good players that aren't in the side at the moment, so we're in a really good spot. But I was pleased for him. He's hung tough all year. Coach hasn't played him all year. He finally gets a reward, and to finish with 6 goals is a terrific reward for a kid that's hung tough all year. He worked incredibly hard. Had a bit of a job on Michael Johnson, which we're pleased how that went, and he got the rewards as well, which is terrific.
Well, that's your record gone, sort of. You were very proud of that record you had with most goals at Domain. And
well, it's not gone.
It's gone. It's equalled.
It's equalled.
Well, would you?
I'll tell you what,
don't have it on your own, though.
One thing I know, it's very hard to kick 6 goals at Domain Stadium. It's very, very hard to kick 6 goals.
It didn't seem too hard for Jacob Townsend.
Outstanding achievement.
No, it was great.
It was. And he was very important in the first quarter when they were playing fairly well. And, his goals not kept us in it, but it certainly kept us on par on the scoreboard.
Yeah, well, they were actually playing good footy early.
Well, Fife was on fire, wasn't he?
He was.
And Bennell had kicked 2, or Bennell had kicked 2, so no, they were. So
he actually was the one player early who,
Well, the other one, Kane Lambert's second quarter, I mean, he's another one that's in just career best form. I mean, he's become a really important player for us.
Kicked 3 goals.
3 in the second quarter, if you don't mind.
We spoke to Xavier Clark this morning. It'll be up on the website for Coach's Corner. He talked about Jacob Townsend, and they were just wrapped for him because they looked at it and they thought he's probably not going to get a game through the midfield at the moment with, the players that are in there, Lambert and Koch and Martin. So he had to... find something else, another string to his bow, and he has been kicking goals at VFL level. Yeah. So
he's just, I heard Dermot Brereton, Dermot's a big fan. He said he's the toughest player in the AFL. Dermot said he's the toughest player going around.
About Townsend?
Yep. Yeah, toughest player going around.
It's pretty good rap there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Another question we got is from NJ Kenobi. He wanted to know what we made of Trossman, Alex Rance, going forward in the third term and getting his goal. He reckons, do we see that as an option for the second tall, if need be?
Well, no.
No.
It's a
good answer.
Well, Steve Silvani used to do it. Steve Silvani kicked, more than 200 goals in his career?
Sauce kicked 10 in a game.
Yeah, he did.
Look, it was good to see Ramsey go forward and kick it. Jeez, it was a nice goal, too.
It was a lovely goal.
Just didn't look like... No. I think moving forward in this season, JB,
yes,
however many games that we have left, hopefully it's 5.
Yep. Well,
I think he'll be probably needed down back, Ramsey.
Yeah.
But it was good to see him get up. It would have been a pressure valve released in his head too.
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
It was great.
He's got to hold things together down back. It would have been nice for him to run around up forward and not have to worry about that.
Well, our special guest last week, Camden McIntosh, who's very keen to get up forward, well, he showed that he's got the capabilities with a lovely set shot goal, wasn't it? So, you know.
Well, he wanted to play full forward.
He wants to play full forward, yeah. He wants to get Jack out of the way. He said, you know, I'm the man.
He didn't say much last week.
No, he didn't give us a lot, to be honest. No.
We'll ask Griggy about that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair enough.
It's a big round coming up, lads. If
It's
you
a
look,
huge round.
we'll talk about our game, but the whole round, like, there's so many different things that can happen.
Permutations. Have you done your ladder predictor, Matty?
Yeah, me and JB did it
I
before.
did not. I have stayed off.
I've told you not to go anywhere near it. Right, I'll send you blind.
Well, we can finish third, or we can finish sixth. Well, we're not even going to look at that possibility.
No.
But there's a lot.
There's so many things. I mean, there's still, obviously, 11 teams vying for the 8. I mean, a lot of things would have to go right for those that are out of the 8 at the moment. But
the actual round, the last game of the round, is the game in Perth, the last game ever at Domain. And I think it's still going to be alive till then, probably.
Well,
the Eagles can still make it.
No, it'll be fascinating. We like that 1980. Remember that 1987? You're too young to remember that. 87 season.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, Carlton, they had to win to get the double chance. I think Kernan kicked the winning goal or something after the siren.
Right.
And I think Melbourne got in and played finals for the first time in many years that year. Anyway.
Yeah,
So,
but it just goes to show that the job is nowhere near done after what
exactly.
we did on Sunday. And
you've got to move on
the
pretty
last
quick.
time we played St Kilda, they certainly
pantsed
showed
us.
us
Absolutely
where to
pantsed
go.
us,
And they just come back from a trip west as well that night. So
that's true. Anyway.
there is a lot more still to go.
There certainly is. Now we've got to rush through the show.
Well, that's why we're on
I know we're rushing because because you've got a very, very important meeting, an AA meeting.
Yeah.
Not Alcoholics Anonymous, but
I might go there too.
yeah, right. You are breathing a bit more tequila on me.
No, that is wrong.
Oh, that was from the other week.
That was
still
2 weeks ago.
Sorry,
Still hasn't worn off.
No, it hasn't. But you've got the biggest. Is this your final All Australian meeting?
It is. Big meeting today.
Ooh, okay.
I can't talk about it, really.
No, okay. So was there any point asking you any questions because you're just mute?
No, well, I just thought we'd put it on the rundown.
Oh,
and you
right.
guys could talk about it. Who do you think?
I think we've probably got about 6. Floston's got to be there now. Asprey, Grimes, Martin, Cochin.
That'd be good.
Yeah, Martin, Cochin, Grigger,
Rance.
of course, Rance.
You'd have the whole... You'd just have the
why
Richmond
not? Why
team.
not? Butts, Butler, yeah.
Townsend.
All right.
Jack Graham, he's pretty good.
I'll throw them all up for you.
Yeah, all right, if you
Silly.
could.
All right.
If you could.
Well, it's tweets, isn't it?
The tweets, yes. Apologies to anybody. You've got.
Oh.
Gee, Scones is even a bit off today, isn't he?
I think he's still...
Nah,
He's looking for the start of the new baseball season not far away. So
he's pumped.
they're off on a pre-season trip, I think.
apologies to anyone who emailed us through during the week. I've just got back from Perth and I'm a bit all over the shop, but we'll whip through some tweets.
Oh, get a violin out, JB. I do that.
Oh, you do it every week.
And we hear about it every week.
Do we ever?
Here's a very good tweet to start us off. This is from Jeremy Wales, and we'll ask Rigger when he gets in. He wonders how neo-vegetarian Sam Lloyd feels about leather, because he seriously overindulged on it
Leather
on
poisoning.
Sunday. So
yeah,
that's very
leather
good.
poisoning. That's
David Millett saying 12 individual goal kickers on the weekend was a great sign of things.
Good sign.
Which was a good sign.
good. Jeez, I could have written a story on that.
Hang on a minute. Alex Houston spotted. We love a good paparazzi, and we love giving this person in particular a lot of grief. Lou Gillette.
Yeah.
Lou
Gillette.
Gillette.
Yeah.
Apologies. Inhaling a hot dog within 4 bites at the VFL on Sunday. It was really quite inspiring.
He does look like he enjoys his tucker, doesn't he? Old Lou.
Oh, dear.
Good country boy.
Yeah.
This is from Paul _ football, and his handle is Hate North.
Hate North.
We
right.
must have the best away supporters going around. Always Tigers visible and heard at every interstate game.
Yeah,
and they
good
were
point.
just everywhere at the end of the match, so that was great to see.
How many were there, do you reckon, JB? It was 29,000 all up?
It's probably one of the rare occasions where you were able to get a lot of tickets into Domain Stadium, so they certainly
They turned up.
look at that. Mick Sonny G has a dilemma this week. Does he stay up in Sydney on Sunday and be the assistant coach of his footy team, or did he fly down to Melbourne and watch us take
Hey,
on
come
St
down
Kilda?
to Melbourne.
Come down, Mick.
Come on, Mick.
Come on, Mick. What are you doing?
Oh, he should coach junior footy, but this is a special one.
Oh, this is special.
Yeah.
It's very special.
Yeah, so Lou's picked up on his hot dog inhaling. Mick's gone again with the selection headache. Here's one from Manfred with, they just go at each other. With the VFL playing finals for the first time since a standalone, we might have to introduce a Lou watch for the amount of time he spent on the green.
It is interesting, though, since Lou takes over, how well the VFL team has gone.
There's a common denominator,
I think there is. Manfred out and Lou in.
Yeah. I think Lou's got the points on that one at the moment, Manfred.
I would have thought so.
That's it, Punchy. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, good. That was good. Now, everyone's got ambitions in life, don't they?
Oh,
childhood,
very much.
Childhood dreams.
Yeah, of course you've got to dream big.
Yeah. What
don't
was
you?
your childhood dream?
To work on a podcast with you.
Yeah.
One day.
So you achieved yours.
Yeah, I've got nothing left now.
So
nothing left.
We understand.
What a letdown it was, too.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't what you wanted it to be, was it?
Not at all.
Hey, so the Chief's been building towards this for a long time.
Yeah.
He's always wanted to be a performer.
Yeah. Oh, he is a performer.
Well, but he tries to make out that he doesn't. But deep down, he's always seen himself
showman.
a bit of a showman.
Oh.
Yep. Bit of razzmatazz.
Stage.
A bit like James Brown.
Yeah, he's built for the stage, really.
So like, if you had noticed our most videos on Raw Vision in the change rooms this year, there's one common thing there too. Chief's always in shot. He knows where the camera is. He's built for this. He is built for this.
Yep.
Now, I can confirm today, and I did find this invitation on his desk. Sorry, Chief. So I did pinch this off your desk. And this is an invitation from our partner charity, the Alana and Madeline Foundation, who have Starry Night coming up, JB.
Big annual event,
Yeah, big annual event. And we know that each year people perform at this song and dance sort of stuff. I can confirm today on Chief Watch that Brendan has been invited to perform this year.
To perform?
Oh, that's great.
Was he getting the band back together?
Well, no, not with Trial by Video. Zanotti's disappeared. Now, you can sing, this is what it says on the invite, you can sing or dance. You can perform solo or in an ensemble as you choose. Well, Brendan will choose solo. We know that.
He will.
You'll be fully supported with musical direction by Chong Lim, one of the great musical directors out there in Melbourne. And you'll have the option of backup dancers choreographed by Alana Scanlon. Rehearsal time, hair and makeup are provided.
Oh, he might get the perm back.
Yeah, he might. We will then invite you to sit on a VIP table. Now, we know he loves VIPs.
Oh, does he ever?
So he'll be there. You can meet other celebrities and you can enjoy the evening. Some previous performers, Leo Sayer, Delta Goodrum, Julia Morris, Andrew O'Keefe, David Campbell, Kerry Ann Kennelly.
Well, we're talking the who's who of
Larry
Australian
Emder. So he will
entertainment industry.
Brendan will be joining those names.
What will he do? What if he's going to do a solo? What will he do? A medley of his greatest hit? What will it be?
We're not sure, but he has put in some extra requirements.
Oh, okay.
Along with the hair and makeup that they've thrown in, he is demanding valet parking at Crown. He wants a villa upstairs reserved. He wants a 2-hour spa treatment before he goes on stage. One special in his change room, he wants a curling wand to just get that hair.
Yeah.
And just before he goes on stage, he wants a dozen of Tasmania's best oysters and a bottle of Dom Perignon. So that is Brendan.
He doesn't want his own pool?
No.
Oh, no. I think he should have, though.
He was on the rush hour with Griggy. They asked him about that. So Brendan, there we go. He'll be performing this year.
Extraordinary.
Look forward to that.
Could we once he does that, can we get that up on our website, Scunners? Oh, great, that'll be tremendous. Yeah, that'll be awesome.
The numbers. We've got to be quick because we're punchy, so everyone can rejoice over that. This week, the huge game Sunday, round 23 against St Kilda. The homecoming hero is Trevor
Pooley.
He'll kick a goal
from Tebi Goya Pachawalik.
There you go.
That's where he's from, yep.
At the Punt Road end. Open training this Saturday, so get down along and support the boys there. That's open here at the Swinburne Centre at Punt Road Oval from 10 a.m. I know you're keen for it. Superstore update.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's back.
Yeah.
Back in its normal spot.
How many have we got?
Just one. But it travels, and now it's back. Anyway, the VFL, a big game as well, closing out their season against Coburg. Here is the curtain raiser.
You're pinch and loose stuff now.
Wow. It just shows where the club news is at. And the injury news.
Do you reckon we bone this next year?
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah. And the top 10.
I think the song is the peak of it.
We'll just keep the song in.
Nathan Drummond, of course, is out for the season, and Josh Caddy, the only one on the injury list. He's 1 week away with a hamstring, and because of the bye round,
so he'll be probably available.
He should be right.
Yeah.
Should be right. Yep.
So that's it. Top 10.
Fantastic. That's great work. Yeah. gearing up for a big September there with that.
It's no fuss, isn't it, Club News?
No, it's no fuss, as distinct from this, which is plenty of fuss. Right, the top 10 final round memories, okay? Now, I've got to whip through it because this is in chronological order, so these are my top 10 final round memories. 1967, and I'll touch on this a bit more in the spirit of 67, but the final round of the season against Geelong at Kardinia Park, and clinched top spot with a win down there, which was a really big... first time I'd ever been down to Kardinia Park, actually, so Hart 6 goals and Billy Brown 5. 1969 played Footscray in the last round of the season at the G. Now, we had to win to secure a spot in the finals. Now, that year we were 6-6 after 12 rounds, and in 6th place and about 10 points or 3 games out of the 4 as it was then. Flew home, won 7 of the last 8 rounds, and smashed the Dogs by 90 points in the last round. Billy Brown, 5 goals. The last final round specialist he was, 5 goals, and Johnny Northey kicked 4. Now, fast forward to 1979 against Essendon at Windy Hill. The Dons were 5th on the ladder. It was a final 5 back then. And we were 8th and had a pretty average sort of year. It was Tony Gill's first year as coach. We smashed the Dons by 59 points. Roachy kicked 7 goals, Cloak 3. Bruce Monteith, who went on to captain the club next year in the Premiership, 36 disposals and 2 goals. And that win set the tone for the 1980 season in that final round of the 79 season. Now, the final round of 1980... we played South Melbourne at the Lake Oval. South was out of contention that year, in 6th spot. We were on top of the ladder, right, and had to win, obviously, to clinch top spot. We were smashed by 54 points. It was the windiest day I've ever had at the footy, at the Lake Oval, going right across the ground. Very hard conditions, but we were terrible. Dropped to 3rd place on the ladder, and people thought, oh, that's it. And then, of course, the rest is history. Won the 3 finals and took out the Premiership. 1988... v Fitzroy, final round MCG, KB's first season as coach. It was our 8th win of the season, but we won by 103 points over the Lions. Jeff Hogg, 9 goals, and Justin Pickering kicked 5. 1990 v Sydney, SCG, and that was Michael Mitchell's 7-bounce goal.
I remember that.
Yeah, magnificent. He kicked 4 for the day. We won by 30 points. Now, you'll remember this one, Richo. 1997 final round v Carlton at Princes Park. We were 6 goals down during the 3rd quarter, stormed home, and your good mate Benny Harrison kicked the winning goal, knocked the Blues out of the finals race, got up by 2 points. You'll also remember this one, 1999 against Carlton again, MCG scoreboard caught fire before the game, and they actually put the game... The game was in doubt for a while there, because they didn't know if the fire was going to spread.
Started about an hour later,
I think at least half an hour or so. Ray Hall's first game too, won by 11 points. Of course, you'll remember this one too. 2001 v Essendon at the MCG. Had to win to clinch the double chance. Won by 24 points. M. Richardson, 5 goals straight. Big Brad Ottens, 4 goals straight. And then we were smashed the next week. We had to play and we were obliterated by the next week.
I think Sheets wanted us to win that last one.
Maybe, yeah. And, of course, rounding it out, the best final round I've ever seen. 2014 v Sydney. We'd won 8 in a row. Had to win at Stadium Australia. And... in the last quarter, Alex Rance built a wall across the back line. The Swans could not get through, and we won by 3 points, 9th win in a row, and clinched a final spot coming from nowhere.
He was unbelievable that night,
He was extraordinary.
It's a bit like... it's different to that this week, but the stakes are pretty high.
Important, of course. Of course.
Yeah. No, that was good. I remember most of those.
Excellent. Yeah, very good.
Thank you. Well, I reckon we need to do some votes now on the Fremantle game.
Yeah, good idea.
What do you want to say?
Well, I'll go with 3 to D. Martin yet again. Just a dominant performance. Kicked a couple of goals too, 36 touches. So I think it's the 6th time this year he's got 30 plus and multiple goals in a game. So pretty fair. I gave 2 to TT's own Sean Grigg. He had 36
You're just saying
as well.
that because he's just over there.
Well, I had to give it to him. If he wasn't coming in, I wouldn't have given him any votes. But no, he deserved them. Of course, his ruck work was... just exquisite as well, so actually had a hit out to advantage. And 1 to, of course, Towner. How could you leave him out of the vote? 6 goals, his first game at senior level this year, and 6 goals and a very, very good display.
Very good. Hey, just talking about possessions before reminded me that on our website later in the week I caught up with a few people in Perth. Rob Wiley, Darryl Freeman, Noel Carter, who are all inducted as life members of the club over there. So watch out for that. Probably should have put it in club news, but I'm hijacking the votes here.
Yeah, Did you have a function there? Did you for that?
I think there was a dinner there, but they were presented to the players before training.
Very good, because every Richmond Premiership player now becomes a life member of the club.
They do.
3 votes I gave to Dustin Martin as well when he put his foot down. It was special. 2 I gave to Jacob Townsend for his 6 goals and the importance of the first couple that he kicked in the first quarter, and 1 vote as well I gave to TT's own Sean Grigg.
Yep.
Well, we've all got the same today in
Well,
different
what are you
order.
saying? What did I put Grigg in? We've all put Grigger in. He deserves to be there.
I didn't say that. I gave 3 to Towner. I just think 6 goals is worth 3 votes.
Well, there's only one other bloke in the club's history that's done that.
Because
there.
I know how hard it is to kick 6 goals at Domain Stadium. It's very, very hard.
Yeah, righto.
So Towner, well done. 2 to Griggy, 36 touches, just knocked up getting it, Griggy. Had leather poisoning, and 1 to Dustin Martin. He could have got 3, but there were just a lot of players that played
fair
well.
enough. Okay.
So Dusty is on 109 now.
Can he be beaten?
No, he can't be.
Okay, right.
Koch is on 49, second. Rance is third. Kane, Lambert and Griggy are equal fourth, and Jack rounds out the top 5 this week.
How does that 109 votes stack up with previous years? Come on, mate.
I think it's just in front.
Okay.
I think it's just in front. I just want to say before we get into these, well done to Scones.
He's been fantastic
because I've put him under the pump today,
like you do every week.
and he has done a great job,
He's delivered.
along with Matt and Rachel,
Yep.
who just put everything together.
Yep.
We are just,
Yep. And JB and myself, who've just had to rush everything through to appease you.
well, you don't do any work. I put it all together. So I'm going to start
Please.
the Yellow and Black Book special.
Oh, go.
Now, you can't tell me that I didn't get this. I said Rance would get 5 plus coaches' votes.
He didn't get it.
No, but you can't say that.
But you don't know.
Because they put him in
They're
camera.
gone into hiding.
They've put him in camera.
Now, I'm claiming that.
Oh, you can't claim that.
I'm claiming that.
No way can you claim that.
Because they haven't been released, so I'm claiming it. And Jack's over there with Griggy. So I'm going to say this week that Jack Revolt will kick 5 goals in his cousin's farewell game,
Okay.
and will get us across the line with 5 goals.
Okay. All right, JB.
Last week I had Camden McIntosh because he was in. I reckon he was going to get the most inside 50s.
You
And
just sucked up to him, didn't you?
he didn't. I think Dan, but I think he might have been tired because I think he had to walk down some
Table.
stairs.
Oh, I
But
think one also the table would have.
well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Talking about the table, and it's also Camden's 50th game this week. So
Tremendous.
he might raise his invisible bat as well. This week you didn't put on the rundown, but I reckon Koch will get 30 plus touches.
Right. Okay.
On the eve of the finals, I reckon
Fair enough.
he'll be looking for a good tune-up.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't write.
No, that's
No,
all right.
that's okay.
I
It's
didn't give it till late.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to boast, but I think this is the best one of the year, really. I had Jack Graham to make his senior debut and have a major impact.
It was good. He did.
Yep.
He did do that.
Pretty good.
He actually said he would have 20 plus.
Well, if you can count the tackles and that, I think you'd have to.
No,
give it to
I'll
him.
give you that.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so this week I'm going for the most improved player, arguably the most improved player in the AFL, Kane Lambert, to win the Ian Stewart medal.
Is it on this week?
Oh, I don't know, Aston Kilda.
But he'll be
set themselves.
But he'll be-
No, it is on this week because Stewie's going to present it.
Oh,
and
Stewie going to be
Yeah,
there.
he's going to be there. He's going to present it. No, I'm going for Kane Lambert because I think he's been fantastic this season. I think he'll win it.
Well done, guys. And here he is.
You're looking sharp, you're looking good, you've come so far. And we know how to make the most of who you are. To let the best of
It's VFL report time, and sorry, Scones, I just jumped in slightly early there. I'm in a rush today, you know that. Lou, good to see you, mate. And before we get into it, big win in the VFL, but how's the Fred Astaire's had another trim? You are looking sharp.
Another trim. It's been a while since the last one. I thought I was a bit overdue, but yeah, like you say, I like to keep myself looking sharp, Richo.
Watching Talking Footy last night, I think Scoot McClure is modelling
modelling
himself
his-
on
he's
you.
Going
Clearly.
himself off me. Yeah, there's worse people who could take fashion advice from.
Hang on a
Yeah,
minute.
Manfred for a start.
That's a good point.
I think I saw the jumper in the museum before. Anyway.
Oh, that was Teddy Soderblom's, that jumper of Manfred. Hey, Lou, another big win in the VFL. They're in good nick, the boys.
Yes, they certainly are coming into finals in a couple of weeks' time. A 70-point win at Punt Road over Sandringham, which is fantastic, and a few big performers, a few big individual numbers, which we're keen to get into.
Well, you go on, sorry.
Well, one of those was Sam Lloyd.
Yeah, just a lazy 50.
Just a lazy 50. All right. I think
4
they
goals.
did. I think the stats guys looked over it during the week, and he unfortunately got bumped down to 48. I think it was in the end. So he's lost the mantle
Hey,
of the
get dropped,
5-0.
you
Yeah,
get dropped.
he's going to get
Yeah.
dropped for that. It was pretty hopeless. But yeah, regardless of that, he also put together 8 marks, 7 tackles, and he kicked 4-4 as well. So you imagine if he managed to convert another 1 or 2 of those, he would have had almost 50 touches and 6 goals.
And he was playing predominantly in the midfield,
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
he?
right. He was running through the midfield and played a bit of forward as we're accustomed to seeing him. But yeah, mostly running through midfield, half forward kind of role, and he adapted to it really well. So it's good to see him have that string to his bow coming into crunch time.
Now, I saw the second half, but so I didn't see the first. So how did we get on top early? What was just through the midfield early and the dominance? And
Well, we did. Obviously, you can tell by the numbers of Lloyd's 50 and then Anthony Miles 45 as well that the midfield battle did belong to
They
us,
set the
especially
scene,
after the first quarter. I think Sandy weren't terrible in the first quarter. They got the first goal, I think, through Jack Loney. Stuck with us for a bit, but through that second quarter, really started winning a lot of contested ball. The clearance battle started going our way, and from there, the forwards just started doing their thing. Lloydie and Leno playing well as always. Todd Elton managed to get a couple on the scoreboard as well, which is great to see. And then from there, the floodgates just opened.
So I guess they must have had good service in the ruck. Sean Hampson, I saw he got a couple of goals here, but his overall game, how did you see that?
Yeah, I was really pleased to see his confidence kind of build throughout, especially in the second half, to see him go up for a few big contested marks. That was terrific. Shows that he's got a lot of faith in his body. Obviously, a back injury can be a bit of a niggling one and one that you've got to be a bit careful of, but he's obviously got terrific faith in his body there. 21 hit-outs too, which I thought was really impressive. His combination...
clunked a few marks.
He did clunk a few, yeah, that's right. A few very impressive ones. So he combined very well with Ivy in the ruck again, gave us some great service, as you say, JB, and that was a huge catalyst for the big win, I thought.
And Shorty, who's been back now for a few weeks in the VFL, playing good footy, putting pressure on selection.
Yeah, he certainly is. He really hasn't kind of put a foot out of place since he's come back to VFL level. Another 20-plus game from him. He finished with 25 touches, 9 marks, which is good, mostly uncontested, but you want to see him making space and demanding the ball, which he certainly was. And then 3 rebound 50s, which is always important, playing his half-back role. You want to see those numbers go up a bit. So as you say, Richo, performed really well. 2 goals as well, actually, I should just say. So saw him go a bit forward as well. And as you say, he's certainly putting pressure on a few of those guys at senior level coming into the finals.
Now, from what I saw, I was really impressed with Callum Moore's game.
Oh, you were really happy.
Yeah,
weren't
no,
you?
I just really liked his
Yeah,
game.
that's right. I had a feeling you might be pleased with him. You've been on Cal's back all this year, so that's good to see. 26 touches, which I think would be up there with the most he's had all year. A couple of great runs he went on. Really confident play. Dishing out a few don't argues. A couple of leafs he took out of Dusty's book, I think, there. 5 marks, which is great to see. One of his terrific strengths as well. Had 2 goals, 3 tackles. So really good spread from him. I'd just about say it has been his best game of the year. There was maybe a few back against Williamstown a bit before he got injured. Was terrific as well. But to see him having that sort of form coming into the end of the year, really promising from him.
What about Corey Alice? He was the one who went back from senior side after the Geelong game into the twos. How did he perform?
Yeah, he performed very well. Got good numbers in contested possessions, which, to be honest, kind of took me a bit by surprise. We know his great strength is playing on the outside and providing that dash there. But 12 of those, so exactly half were contested, so that was really good to see. Kicked a goal in the first quarter, which proved to be a real steadier for us. A really classy finish on that left boot, which was terrific. And yeah, just going from strength to strength. Maybe would have liked to add a few more onto the 24 that he had. But obviously he does get identified quite heavily as a bit of a danger when he's got the ball in hand. So I think for him to fight through that and get to his 24 was pretty admirable. Another guy who's going to be right in there with selection talks, I think.
Okay, so where does that leave us now? That's guaranteed finals?
Yeah, that's right. So it's guaranteed finals. We can finish as low as 7th if we lose next week. But we can go as high as 3rd, depending on other results as well. So pretty tightly knit 8, as you can tell. There's going to be a lot riding on all the games next week, particularly ours against Coburg.
Coburg, yeah. And that's here?
That's right. Sunday, same time as a week, just on Sunday at 12 o'clock. So it's going to be a big one. Looking forward to it.
So we can finish 3rd with a good win against Coburg. Other results go our way.
Other results go our way, that's right. The thing that's really helping out is our percentage at the moment, which certainly a 7-point win wouldn't have done any harm to. I believe it's Footscray at the moment who's sitting... Yeah. Oh, no, it would be Casey, actually, who's sitting just a bit above us. Yeah, and we do have, I think we're sitting on about 136%.
Right.
So should we get that win, we can really boost ourselves up. As you say, it's going to depend on other results, but you never know.
Do you want to give us the time of the game?
12 o'clock on Sunday.
On Sunday, Curtin Raiser.
Curtin Raiser,
Absolutely.
that's exactly right.
We'll get down here to Punt Road Lou. Just getting better and better as the weeks go on.
Oh, there's only a few weeks left. I've left my best till last.
Your head might fall off the way you're going.
I think it might,
Fair bit of wobble there. Fair bit of wobble.
Thanks, mate.
We give you all we have to give.
All of the night. Here's an opportunity for Greg. A bounce to 50. Ran to 48. Rams at home. Spin it around beautifully, Greg. And kick a ripping goal. The halftime siren. Open goal for Greg. Wonderful stuff.
Well, it's that time again where we welcome back TT Zone. What is he? Is he our correspondent? What do you call him?
Correspondent.
Yeah, correspondent.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Sean Grigg. Great to have you, Griggy.
Yeah. Good to be back from Perth, boys, with the win.
Yeah.
Very happy.
Very good win too. Did what you had to do.
Yeah, we did. Freo came out pretty hard as we knew they were going to after their big loss the week before, and also their last game at Domain Stadium. So, we held them off that first quarter, and then we got going.
You had a bit of leather poisoning yourself, Griggy, 36.
Got a bit of it. Yeah, it was nice to get a bit of it. And,
36 and in the ruck too, and getting hit outs to advantage.
One hit out to advantage in the centre bounce too, that was. The ball got bounced up and it sort of just fell my way, and I thought, oh no, big Sean Darcy's going to steamroll me here. But,
it's a sick feeling, that, in the ruck, isn't it?
Yeah, so got the hit out to a Dusty, so that was nice.
Beautiful. Brought a special guest in today. He's not on camera here, but
I was hoping you weren't going to mention him, Richard. Don't put him on, please.
No, we won't even mention who it is. Actually.
No. He's getting to mention later on, though. So
very, very good. So, and Jacob Townsend just come from nowhere, didn't he? First game of the season, 6 goals.
Big Tanner, yeah. It was pretty funny. In the morning, we had our team meeting, and Dimmer sort of, was going through the team and said to us, let's Tanner. All we need you to do is compete and have a crack. Great to have you back in, and if you can, kick 6 or 7 goals.
So you think he took it literally?
And so Tanner just took it literally, and he snagged him. Yeah,
Dimmer would be happy with that. He's be claiming it.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and that was good to see Tanner play well, because he's had a very good year in the VFL. He's toiled away and he's got his chance, and he did well.
Geez, we get some good support over there too, don't we?
Yeah, we did. We had heaps of supporters there, and. Yeah, they were really loud, and hopefully they turn out this weekend too, Greeners.
Just one more before you get into your stuff, and hopefully it doesn't spoil it, but we got a question here from Brock Solid, who's one of our tweeters regularly. He wants to know Sammy Lloyd's breakout performance. Was it with the vegan diet or without?
I've actually got this. Yeah, that's coming up. So I may as well spoil that now. Since Lloydie has given away the vegan diet only last week, look what had happened: 50 touches and 4 goals. And there's also little murmurs going around as he was walking off Punt Road. The crowd were clapping, and he was raising his pretend bat for the 50.
Are you serious?
That's the murmurs. We were over in Perth, so I didn't see it with my own eyes, but that's the whispers going around. He was raising the pretend bat.
We'll have to go back through the vision, I think.
He's got to get fined for that. That is outrageous.
We'll have to see if it's true, and we'll look back through the vision for that one.
Beautiful. We'll get into it, Griggy. Take it away.
Yeah, a couple of things from our away trip and what's been going on around the club. Jack Rewalt. He tried to do the roaming rewalt. Did see that? He tried the roaming rewalt after the game.
On Raw Vision.
On Raw Vision, and snuck into business class too.
Oh, did he?
Jack did, yeah.
So how many of the boys get business class?
Oh, there wasn't many. There was only a couple. And also a little story about Jack. We saw what Winks did, the great horse on Saturday. Very slow start out of the barriers, and then stormed home for that win. At half time, Jack came up to me and said, I'm going to be a bit like Winks today. The big fella hadn't had a great first half. And he said, I've started slow, but you watch the champ come home. And he did. He was true to his word. He came home and kicked 4 goals. And, so that was his claim to fame. So Winks is Jack Rewalt.
All right, they'll like that. Was there any junk time about Winks on Winks Rewalt?
No, he was happy. He was good. He just did enough. Did enough, the big fella. Yeah. Speaking about business class as well, there was a bit of Chief watch, and I did notice the Chief turned left and went down to the pointy end of the plane. Richo,
he didn't.
This is outrageous.
And
he didn't give a seat up to one of the taller players.
Well, the ruck brigade in myself and Nank, we were sat back in the cattle. So us ruckmen were left there, and the big Chief was up the front.
So you've had 60 disposals between the two of you, and about 55 hit outs, and he's gone. Oh, this is outrageous.
That's not good enough, Brendan.
Outrageous.
So that was noted as well. Also, another little story. This is becoming a theme. This bloke, Camden McIntosh.
Yeah,
what happened to him on our trip? So the pool was up on level 13 of our hotel, and we all had to do a recovery session after the training. And his room was on level 13 as well. So he took his bags up to level 13 and thought, I'll go straight to the pool, get the recovery done. And he went out the wrong door. It was the fire exit door. He thought that's where the pool was going. And the door shut behind him, and he turned around and he was locked in, the fire exit. Couldn't get back out.
A few weeks ago.
Knocking on the door, no one heard him, so he had to walk his bags down 13 flights of stairs, back down to reception to come back up the lift, poor Capsy.
He kicked a goal, though. He said he
did
kicked a goal
well,
last
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
He did well, and I'm not sure if that mustache is real or fake too. That's just
it's a clip-on.
Yeah,
It's a clip-on.
the listeners, have a close look at Caps' mustache.
I reckon he got it at the Melbourne show last year in a show bag.
Well, he was in that seat last. Did any of the boys see that? Any feedback?
How did he perform last week on TT?
There wasn't too much good feedback for Capsy on that one.
He gave it to you a bit,
Yeah,
though.
he did. It was
You
just,
know.
no one believes that stuff, Capsy, come on. And I thought I'd tell a little story about Dylan Grimes because his 100th game. Fantastic effort by Grimesy.
Because he's sort of perfect, isn't he, Grimesy?
Yeah, he is the perfect man. This is a little story about how he impressed his girlfriend Alicia a few years ago when Grimesy was a young buck. Took Alicia out on a nice date from Eltham, he is. So she was in the passenger and he was driving, and he was driving around Eltham, and he'd just give a cheeky flick of the lights, his headlights, the high beams on and off. And the people coming the opposite way would wave, saying, "Thanks for letting me know there's a speed camera." And Alicia sort of cottoned on and said, "Geez, Dylan, you know, how many people know you around Eltham?" And he was a bit happy, going, "Yeah, they know my car. I'm starting to play some senior footy." And so that's that trapped Alicia. Alicia bought that, and he's still with her today. So it's worked for Grimesy.
That's a good move, isn't
It's a
it?
good one, isn't it?
So he's massive out in Eltham.
He's massive out of Eltham, and it worked for him. So that's one of the one on Grimesy. And this takes me to what's grinding my gears this week.
This.
I'm going to sort of throw myself under the bus here. It's myself and Virgin Valet Parking. Because we flew back late at night, we got in about 2 a.m. I thought instead of parking at the Jetport and getting the bus back there, I'll go to the valet, cop the payment, and I'll get home nice and early.
Claim it on
sleep.
tax
Yeah,
anyway.
claim it on tax. So, you know, we started sort of spruiking, going, have fun on the little minibuses, boys. We're going to valet. Went to the valet area to get my car. There was no attendant at the booth. Waited for was calling the phone, but it was just the phone in the office. No one there. Waited half an hour for an attendant to come. So I'm turning it up sort of on myself for trying to do the sneaky.
That's what happens.
And everyone else was home asleep by the time.
Yeah, and I'm also grinding my gears on Virgin Valet because, come on.
Not good enough.
Not good enough.
That's
there.
what you pay the extra for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was pretty fucked myself with that one. And then I've got two lists this week again because Capson was here last week, and I don't think he provided a list.
No,
he gave us nothing.
he didn't have a list.
I've gone for two.
Did we actually even put that to air last week, McIntosh?
So I've gone the worst dress sense at the club, the first one. There's special mentions to Sean Hampson because they can't make clothes big enough for him. Dimmer and Ivan Marek, he just wears soccer stuff and his Dynamo St Albans club stuff. So into the votes, I've gone one vote for Drummo. He just wears basketball singlets all year long. Yeah, he's that's why he comes into my next list as well. Kochi is next.
Really?
He just wears everything Nike.
Yeah, right.
That's why. Everything
Sponsored
has to
product.
be Nike.
Yeah.
Everything. So change it up a bit, Trent, or handball some stuff off.
That normally means you're tight when you just go sponsors gear. I'm not going to say that he is tight, but it normally means that.
And the three votes I've gone for Dustin Martin. His dress sense is horrible, but there's this one item of clothing he bought online. It's a white feathered jumper. He looks a cross between Khloe Kardashian and Pluck a Duck. So his new nickname around the club is Pluck a Duck. It is horrific, Dustin.
That is good.
That is
That's
a good list.
That's
that one.
very good.
And my next list is the three biggest tight asses at the club.
Oh, good.
There's
There's a lot to choose from.
There's a lot to choose
You
from.
might add two in the last list.
Yeah, there's a special mention to Alex Rance for this one. He's been known to steal some stationery from admin to take it to the academy.
No.
Paper, pens, whiteboard markers. So he's got a little special mention there. I've got one vote, big Darryl Garthwaite.
All right.
A little story about him. It's a tough one because he's a first-year player. He needs to save his money, but a couple little stories about him. He came into the club thinking he's pretty naive, country boy, great morals. Came into the club saying, "Boys, I've worked out this trick. save a bit of cash. And okay, what have we done here, Garth? Now, he's gone to the petrol station. He's put $20 in his tank, but he's just ticked it over to $20.02. And then he goes up and pays with the cash, $20 cash, and he gets the 2 cents.
2 cents
free.
Oh, no.
So big Garth.
Costs more to turn your car on than 2 cents.
I would have thought.
And he was saving up for a PlayStation 4 too. That was one of his big things he wanted. And Dion actually had a spare one, so he's on the other end of the spectrum. He just gave Garth his PlayStation.
Yeah, good.
And then we asked Garth if he had any games or what's he going to play, and he goes, no. So now he was saving up
to get some games
for a game, Madden game. So it'll take him a while with these 2 cents things, but he'll get there. Yeah. The next one goes to Drummo again. He's missed unfortunately, a couple of years with knee injuries, but still being paid match payments with them. So doesn't really like to shout the young boys, take them out for coffees. The basketball singlets buys in bulk, so he gets the 2 votes. The 3 votes
this is big.
goes for Jacob Townsend.
Oh, really?
Big Towner, going to mention him. Great game on the weekend. Might change now. He's had a good match payment.
Maybe he's got a little incentive in there for goals.
Maybe he does.
Yeah.
But he... the boys go out for lunches a bit, and he's sort of dropped off a little bit of late. Just sneaks home, and we've found out that there's an app out there called Airtasker that people put up little odd jobs around if they want to, do a delivery or move some bricks, and we've found Towner has been doing these odd jobs for $5 here, $8 here. And not coming out with the boys for a coffee or a lunch. So Towner gets the 3 votes there.
Now,
now
if Tutu's former own, your good mate Lids was still here, how would he feature in that list?
Oh, he'd probably have to, wouldn't he?
He would.
I reckon he'd have to.
He'd have to.
Right.
Greggy, that was outstanding.
That was excellent.
I reckon there's a bit in there but we might even make the newspaper again.
Yeah,
after
I
that.
think so. Yeah,
Mate, thanks for coming in.
No
Beautiful.
worries. Go
Try and get into this spirit pretty quickly today.
I saw her sitting in the rain.
All right.
Towner. We might get him around to do a few things.
All right, so it was the final home and away round of the 67 season, which is 50 years ago next Saturday, and we played Geelong at Geelong.
Yeah.
And we had to win. The winner was going to clinch top spot on the ladder. And we won the toss and kicked with the win in the first quarter. Had 9-4 at quarter time to Geelong's 2-1. And went on to at Geelong. Geelong hadn't lost a game there all season. We ended up winning by 12 points. It was a ripping game, 18-9, 117 to 15, 105. Royce had a big day out, kicked 6 goals. Billy Brown kicked 5. Johnny Northey kicked 3. Best players were Dean, Brown, Hart, Bergstrang, Northey and Big Pato. And Harry Bites, the late Harry Bites, who passed away a week ago, aged 90, he said this in Footy Week. He wrote, Richmond removed any doubts about who should be the favourite for this year's premiership with a slashing win over Geelong. The pacey Richmond side staggered their opponents with a 9-4 opening quarter burst. It was the first time Geelong had been beaten at home this season. Royce Hart was too zippy and devilish for Roy West. It was a great game, fast and furious, with plenty of highlights. Richmond tackled harder and with more enthusiasm. So we clinched top spot, 15 wins, 3 losses, and a percentage of 145.9, which was good. Now, also 50 years ago this week, big something huge in obviously in the music industry. It was on August the 27th that the Beatles manager Brian Epstein was found dead in his bedroom at home. So it was an accidental. It was ruled as accidental death, an overdose of a sleeping pill mixed with alcohol. And, of course, he was referred to as the fifth Beatle and obviously had a massive impact. And he discovered the Beatles. He had a record shop and he walked across the road at lunchtime to the Cavern Club to listen to this new band, the Beatles, play. And, of course, the rest is
been pretty happy with that decision.
Is history.
Head over there at lunchtime.
Interesting, in 2008, the first contract between the Beatles and Epstein was auctioned in London. How much do you reckon it went for?
$2 million?
No, not quite that much. £240,000.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. Fair bit. Yeah.
A few gags?
Got a few gags.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Why wouldn't you just write them on that
Because
hat?
it's a tradition.
There's enough for it. There's enough for it.
No. It's just a tradition. Yeah. Anyway, please feel free to use these as you see fit. I was overcharged the other day. I bought some when I bought some Velcro. What a rip-off. What do you call a train loaded with toffee?
What?
A choo-choo train.
Oh,
saw this documentary. Saw a documentary the other night on how ships are kept together. Yeah, it was riveting. Now, I've been called too vague by you know who, but you know the old saying.
What?
No, too vague. I failed maths so many times at school I can't even count. Now, a year ago, a mate of mine crashed his car into a lemon tree. Yeah, he's still bitter and twisted.
I like that.
You've had a couple of good ones here, Greg.
That's good, that one.
Good.
You like them?
Yeah. I like
also,
that.
when I was at school, I wanted to join the debating team. Yeah, but someone talked me out of it. And as a kid, I actually, I'm not sure if I told you this, mate, but as a kid, I lived under a poker table.
Did you?
With a chip on my shoulder.
I reckon that's some of your best work this week. Coming into some good form for finals.
Exactly.
Hey,
Building
Griggy,
up,
take
building
a
up.
few of those into the change rooms. Good luck this week. Round 23, huge game.
Go Tigers.
And Saints. That's
Come on,
been
Tigers,
Talking
get the job
Tigers. We'll be back next week. See you later.
Go Tigers.
Get ready!